King Arthur, one of the most popular characters in history. When we hear his name, his outstanding features come to mind, like his famous sword, Excalibur, Camelot Castle, Knights Round Table, and Holy Grail. What is the true and historically proven facts about him and his stories? Where he came from? And finally, is he real? I'm going to answer all of this in a fantastic journey into history, mythology, conflicts, and knights with their shiny armors. First of all, Arthurian legends are massive, so I'll try to summarize the useful content. Of course, this collection will have many parts. First, we need to know the Arthur's family. His father was Uther Pendragon, and his mother was Igraine. The Uther Pendragon himself was son of the Constantine III. Uther Pendragon himself had three brothers, Aurelius, Ambrosius, Constantine II, and Moigen. However, the Arthur's family are different in sources, but the certain things are stable in all those sources. The Uther Pendragon and Igraine had Arthur. Igraine herself had another child named Morgana or Margaux. Arthur's wife was Guinevere. Sources say that Arthur had a child with Morgana or Morgause, and Morgana or Morgause is Arthur's step-sister. They had a child named Mordred. However, Lady Guinevere betrayed Arthur with Sir Lancelot, but I'm not gonna talk about this right now because it's a long story and I'm gonna describe it in the next parts. Uther Pendragon had three children, Madoc ap Arthur, and Anna. Let's go to the Arthur himself. In short, Arthur is a legendary or historical figure that I'm gonna talk about, King of Britain. In Welsh sources, Arthur is portrayed as a leader of the post-Roman Britons in battles against Anglo-Saxon invaders of Britain in the late 5th century and the early 6th century. The legendary Arthur developed as a figure of international interest, largely through the popularity of Geoffrey of Monmouth, faithful and imaginative 12th century history of the kings of Britain. Geoffrey depicted Arthur as a king of Britain who defeated the Saxons and established a vast empire. Many elements and incidents that are now an integral part of the Arthurian story appear in Geoffrey's Historia, including Arthur's father Uther Pendragon, the magician Merlin, Arthur's wife Guinevere, the sword Excalibur, Arthur's conception at the Tentacle, his final battle against Mordred at Camelot, and final rest at Avalon. The 12th century French writer Quentin de Troyes, who added Lancelot and the Holy Grail to the story, began the genre of Arthurian romance that became a significant strand of medieval literature. The historical basis for King Arthur has been long debated by scholars. The lack of convincing early evidence is the reason many recent historians exclude Arthur from their accounts of sub-Roman Britain. Though debate has gone on for centuries, historians have been unable to confirm that Arthur really existed. He doesn't appear in the only surviving contemporary source about the Saxon invasion, in which the Celtic monk Hildas wrote of a real-life battle at Monas Badon Hills, around 500 AD. Several hundred years later, Arthur appears for the first time in the writing of a Welsh historian named Ninus, who gave a list of 12 battles the warrior king supposedly fought. All drawn from Welsh poetry, the battles took place in so many different times and places that it would have been impossible for one man to have participated in all of them. Later, Welsh writers drew on Ninus' works, and Arthur's fame spread beyond Wales and the Celtic world, particularly after the Norman conquest of 1066 connected England to the northern France. In the popular 12th century book History of the Kings of Britain, Geoffrey of Monmouth wrote the first life story of Arthur, describing his magic sword Excalibur, later known as Excalibur, his trusted knight Lancelot, Queen Guinevere, and the wizard Merlin. An irresistible blend of myth and fact, the book was supposedly based on a lost Celtic manuscript that only Geoffrey was able to examine. Arthur's mythic power would only grew stronger as the century passed. English rulers from Henry VIII to Queen Victoria have appropriated the Arthur legend for political purposes, while countless writers, painters, photographers, filmmakers, and other artists have produced their own version for posterity. The origin of the Welsh name Arthur remains a matter of debate. The most widely accepted etymology derives it from the Roman family name Arthurius. Others say that it came from a Celtic origin, and it derives from an older patronymic, Arthurius, meaning son of the bear or warrior king. Another commonly proposed derivation of Arthur from Welsh Arth mean bear plus mean man. An alternative theory which has gained only limited acceptance among professional scholars derives the name Arthur from Arcturus, the brightest star in the constellation Bootes near Ursa Major, or the Great Bear. Classical Latin Arcturus would also have become Arthur when borrowed into Welsh, and its brightness and position in the sky led people to regard it as the guardian of the bear, which is the meaning of the name in ancient Greek, and the leader of other stars in Bootes. And like all of us know, Arthur had the Knights of the Round Table. They are the legendary Knights of the Fellowship of King Arthur that first appeared in the matter of Breton literature in the mid-12th century. The Knights are an order dedicated to ensuring the peace of Arthur's kingdom following an early warning period, entrusted in the late years to undergo a mystical quest for the Holy Grail. The number of the Knights of the Round Table and their names were greatly between the versions published by different writers. The figure may range from a dozen to as many as 1,600, and the number of the knights are very high, but some of them are really popular and we know them, like the Sir Lancelot, Percival, Kay, Galahad, Boris, Gavin, Tristan, and Hector, and all of them that I'm gonna talk about them in other parts. And also, Camelot is a castle and court associated with the Arthur. This was a whole summary of the King Arthur stories. Wait for the other parts and you will see a lot of information about King Arthur, such as the Knights, Camelot, Merlin, Guinevere, and other stories about King Arthur. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.